Yeah. And rush in. It was this place for me. I'll be able to get down there.
To each other. Call to order, October 10th, Town of Sylva Board of Commissioners meeting. Welcome everyone. First thing on our agenda is to approve the agenda. I didn't find a motion to do that.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the like sign, motion carries. Also entertain a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, by like sign, motion carries. Do we have anyone signed up for public comment? No? Okay. Moving on. Reports, not a lot to report from the mayor. Had a pretty big storm here, and thank God in Greyhound, our town was spared for the most part. The storm came over us, and we've got a lot of neighbors, especially to the east of us, that are in severe need. So anything anybody can do to help those folks would be a good thing. And that's all I have. Mary?
Thanks to all the law enforcement, first responders, all of the staff of the town of Sylva and the fire department for all the help they had throughout Hurricane Helene. And now we're facing friends and family and a lot of our tourists dealing with Milton. Our thoughts and prayers are going out to all of those folks right now. I want us to all be mindful of all of our small businesses in Western North Carolina. They need us more than ever. They need the local support. So I think it's a good idea for us all to try to get the word out of what businesses are open and also what attractions and destinations are open to get folks to come safely here without interfering with any kind of cleanup. I want to send a special thanks to the library for offering communication on those early hours when no one had communication. They were there. That's very close to my home, and it was interesting to see how many people came to the library in a time of need. Moving ahead, I want to bring some events that are happening at the library to everyone's attention. There is some opportunities to learn to crochet. If you've never crocheted before, they offer classes for crocheting and knitting. The next opportunity is tomorrow, Friday at 1. Every Monday at 10 a.m. they offer opportunities for tech support. If you need help with your basic smartphone, laptop, iPad, there is free services available every Monday at 10 a.m. for folks to come. On the 19th of this month, Uncomplicated Kitchen is going to be offering an opportunity to do some butternut squash and mac and cheese, preparing food on a budget. That is something that you do have to register for at the library. And then the last thing is monthly, they have a spice appreciation month. And you can stop by the reference desk and get a spice. I'm probably going to say this spice wrong, but CHERVIL. Chevelle, does that sound right? That's the spice of the month for October. So if you're interested in learning more about that spice, and more importantly, if you're interested in having community, that's an opportunity for some community activity. You come, you get the spice, you learn about the spice, and then you come together once a month, like a book club. And you might prepare food with that spice and then just enjoy some fellowships. That's all I have.
Yeah, I just want to echo part of that sentiment and give thanks to fire department, police department, public works. I know they all work really hard as the storm, after the storm, during the storm, and after the storm. And then I've also been really impressed with what a lot of local businesses did to support people after the storm. There are several businesses that set up Wi-Fi networks for people that didn't have service, which was a a huge issue for a lot of people. And that was pretty cool to see that. Was very encouraged by what a lot of businesses in town did to help people during that time. That's it.
Well, me and Mary and Brad, definitely a great opening statement, both of you. You know, there's a lot that went on during the hurricane. I'd just like to take an opportunity to meet an organization that I never knew we had. Last week we had some, hand sanitizer we wanted them to donate, see if anybody needed it to Jackson County, and they directed this to this lady. Her name is Jenny Golding. She's with, and I think it's Smoky Mountain Partners or Smoky Mountain Pregnancy Center. We donated the hand sanitizer to her, and I kind of felt a little bad. She was standing there, she had a whole truckload of baby clothes, diapers, tons of diapers, bottles, everything for babies. And they were trying to get it to Haywood County, so we went ahead and I loaded up, stuck the box fan down there, and we loaded the whole truckload up and took it over to Woodbridge Church. And then took some to Haywood Christian Ministries. And one thing I can say is, man, if nobody's been over there, you should see the local support as Brad was talking about. There was hundreds of people around there that they're just going everywhere. Dispersing water, diapers. I mean, they were bringing trailers in, hauling diapers to Canton, Clyde, Swananoy, Fairview. I mean, it was just overwhelming support of the locals. And I'm glad you brought to that, Brad. Thank you. But I just want to let everybody know this is a great organization. They give free sonograms. They've got parenting classes. It's very nice. And if you know anybody that needs some help with kids or that may be pregnant or whatever, great organization. I will leave this card with Amanda and Paige. That's all I have.
Please.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to say also that it's good to hear so many people in this area have donated their time and resources to help people out east in time of need, coming together to help one another. So it's good to hear. There's a lot of people in this area that went over there to help. We actually donated a lot of materials and stuff to help out. That's it.
Oh,
Yeah, good evening. To echo the sentiments, grateful for all the people in our town, our departments, fire department, police, public works, all those who had a hand in this storm, despite the response. And for me, I got to see the fire department in action. I got to go hang out that night. The storm came in. I got to hang out with those guys. Kind of waiting for the calls, waiting for the storm to come and do a ride along. And I got to see firsthand how well they respond. They had to respond to a rollover accident there in front of Cookout about 11 o'clock, 10:30 at night. And to go see them in action with the pouring rain, helping people get the jaws of life out. That was kind of cool to see them do that and work as a team. And then getting ready for the storm and seeing them respond to all these calls and kind of seeing how they were just ready to serve. So thank you guys for what y'all do. My takeaway from that was we got a great fire department, great, you got some volunteers who fill in and kind of fill in the gaps with their staff firemen. And I got the impression from what they were saying that they've got most of what they need. They could use some more trucks and a couple more firemen. So I just say that to say, hey, however we can support you guys. I know hiring more staff is not easy. It's money, tight budget, not something that we can just wave a wand and do. But that was the takeaway I got, was we could use another 1 or 2 firemen on staff. And our volunteer force with the fire department it sounds like it's low from what it's been. So just to kind of make that aware, and but we appreciate what you guys do and all those calls you guys answer. A lot of welfare checks last few days and clearing roads. So thank you all. Yeah, and one other thing, kind of like what Mark was saying, something I've seen not happening in our town, but one great resource in our community our church is involved. I think several churches have helped with a Samaritan's Purse. They have a great organized effort. They're, you know, bringing in all kinds of people to the Cove, Billy Graham Training Center in Asheville. And they're sending out teams. I think last Saturday, my wife and I went to help. They were sending out 1,000 volunteers that day. So it's an easy way to get plugged in and go help. Anything you can do. I mean, they will take anyone. You can do a number of different jobs, from, you know, cleaning out mudded up basements to clearing trees out of people's yards. Great ministry and organization that they'll take anybody and plug you in. So just to put that out there too.
Thank you. Just a couple things y'all sort of reminded me of. My phone's been nonstop through all the storm business. So, some things people need to know about. Lady named Crystal Cochran. She's a widow of Maine, and she's heavily involved with the Veterans Association. She's had the Veterans Association and military planes flying into the Cullowhee Airport 6 a day for the last week and a half, bringing in supplies that she's storing in the Cullowhee Fire Department. I offered her a bay in the Sylva Fire Department if it was needed, but she's doing most of it through there. She needed hooked up with who to get it distributed to. I hooked her up with Drew Christie in the Western Governor's office, and also with Rear Martin, who's on the staff as a cabinet member over the Veterans Affairs. And those two have helped her get it distributed out to different counties that have needed it in different places all over the country. But my son-in-law shared this with me. He went up to volunteer from running the shelter out here at the Golden Age Center. You know, he was trying to volunteer to help unload the planes. There's about 40 boxes on each small plane that comes in. They had 80 people there to unload 40 boxes. So that's how much people are trying to help. You know, and people need to know what our governor's been doing for us. Cooper called me twice before the storm, twice after the storm, invited us to come down. And I went, met with the governor at the EOC. All the FEMA people are there. I'm not just normal FEMA people, but the lady that's in charge of FEMA from Washington is there. And people need to know what our governor's done for us. This is the first time ever that the President of the United States, because Roy Cooper asked for it, signed off on 100% reimbursement from FEMA for the first 6 months for everything in Western North Carolina. That's huge. It's normally 70%. Our government's been working to help those that are affected by the storm in lots of ways. That's all I can think of to spit out right now, but it's been a constant flow of phone calls. Moving on to our manager's report.
Thank you. So I want to say that our hearts go out to our neighbors and the communities east of us. And I also want to take a moment to thank Public Works, Police, and the Fire Department during the event, their work during the event and immediately afterwards. We're also incredibly grateful to TWASA for working tirelessly to restore the system and lift the boil water advisory. We're grateful to emergency management, those that worked in the EOC, and our first responders. And we appreciate the ongoing efforts of NCDOT, Duke Energy, and our communications providers. I also want to thank the Chamber, the Main Street Program, and the PA who immediately worked to assist businesses following the storm. And our businesses need the support of locals, especially right now. As far as storm damage here, or town facilities, the failing rock wall behind Public Works fell more during the hurricane. The rock from the initial section is further in the creek, and the fracture cracks in the parking lot are larger and growing. We're hopeful to be able to use FEMA assistance to repair the wall in the parking area. We're exploring that. Unfortunately, the skate ramp was damaged beyond repair. That's behind motion makers. Lynn's reaching out to our insurance to start a claim process. So depending on our deductible and the value, we'll talk about this, and we need to determine whether to replace the ramp or collect the insurance money and put it towards a future skate park. So we'll bring this to the board for discussion when we have full information about the insurance. There's about 5 or 6 trees down going up to Fisher Creek. Public Works is going to work to clean those up next week. And the mayor covered the governor's visit. Southwestern Home Consortium held an emergency meeting Tuesday to discuss amending the action plan to transfer the Community Housing Development Organization funds that are in Region A to set them aside for disaster relief. So there currently isn't one of those organizations in the 7 western counties. So we haven't been able to utilize that funding since the Home Consortium was created in 2020. So the consortium unanimously approved transferring those set aside funds to put them towards disaster relief, and Mountain Projects will be able to administer. It's a little over $353,000 for rehab and rental assistance. So that's funding that can be used for low to moderate income applicants after they utilize what they can get from FEMA and from their insurance provider. So hopefully it can help that gap. Other updates. Bryson Park, Jake and I met with Jeff Bliss with Bliss Products on furnishings for the park. We discussed benches, tables, bike racks, grills, exercise equipment, and other items that the board and the public expressed interest in previously. And we almost have a finalized contract with Bartlett Operations for the pavilion renovation. We're hopeful that construction can begin this month, and the estimated construction time is 5 months. Our audit site work was postponed due to the hurricane. Her office is in Clyde, so I'll let you know when that's rescheduled. Blake Cave has started full-time employment with the fire department, and the health department came and offered flu shots to town employees this week. And just so it's on your radar, it seems like it's a long way off, but the Christmas parade is December 1st at 3. That falls on Thanksgiving weekend this year. So please be sure you have that on your calendar. The parade application will be available soon. That's all I have tonight.
Mayor, do you mind if I shut that blinds? When
Not one bit.
things are kind of flashing on our, on our folks out there. Thanks.
Thank you. Blared me out too. On the new business, first item under new business is, the request to purchase a new, bumper fire truck. I assume this is to put out the bid after the bid, is that right, Mike?
Right. What that's about is back in the budget process, first of the year, we were talking about needing to purchase a new pumper. And that's what that's about. We want to put it out to bid first of November, with the bids coming back in by the 1st of December. And then possibly proceed with the purchase. We're going to try to, we can pay for this out of our capital fund. So if we get it right, we shouldn't even have to borrow anything. Bye. We don't know the answer to that question yet, of course, until the bids come back. Yeah, that's y'all.
So you need a motion in vote to have permission to put it out for bid.
Correct.
So then find a motion, we do that.
Yeah, I'll make that motion.
There's a motion, we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, motion carries.
Thank y'all.
Next item is planning board term limits and the appointment to the planning board. If you remember previously when we made an appointment to the ABC board, we changed the terms to from 3 terms to 4 in order to be able to reappoint Maurice Moody. And this is the same sort of scenario. I personally feel like Russ Harris is the most experienced person on the planning board right now, and with all the 107 stuff going on. He's the one that knows why our ordinances are orchestrated the way they are, and be able to clearly understand any changes that might need to be made, so I think Russ is the person that needs to stay on that board. So I would entertain a motion that we extend term limits for the planning board to 4 terms instead of 3.
I'll go ahead and take that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Uh,
All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. Do we need to go ahead and appoint Russ?
Yes. So we've got Russ Harris is up for appointment, Jeffrey Hirsch, Rose Bogus, and Kendall Waldrop.
They've all agreed to continue to serve.
Yes,
We do not have other applications for people wanting to serve, is that correct?
that's correct.
I entertain a motion that we reappoint all the existing members that want to be reappointed to the planning board.
Sorry, say it one more time. Russ, Jeffrey, Rose, and
Kendall Waldrop. This would be Jeffrey's second term. Rose has an unexpired term. This would be Russ's fourth term and Kendall's second term.
I'll make a motion that we appoint Russ Harris to his fourth term, Jeffrey Hirsch to his second term, Kendall Waldrop to her second term, and Rose Bogus to another term.
We have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed by like sign, the motion carries. Next is the Business Development Board. We have the applications for appointments. We have just enough applications to fill the board. Yes, I'd start with, and most all these are in our packet for the exception of Genesee's is here. We have it. Is it in here? Okay. And what about Marnie's? I didn't see Marnie's when I looked at it. It's in there. Okay. So, let's start with the two ex officio members, Jason Carpenter.
Josh
Josh
Carpenter
Carpenter.
and Marnie Harris.
Josh Carpenter and Marnie Harris both served professionally in that field, one at Southwestern Community College and one at Southwestern Commission. I think kind of motion that we appoint both of them to ex officio members on the Business Development Board.
Make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed by like sign, the motion carries. Now, we have the appointments to fill. We have 5 people that have applied for 5 positions. 2 of those positions need to be 1-year terms, 3 of them need to be 3-year terms. So that we can have a rotation that we never have a whole totally brand new board. So sort of rotate like the planning board does. We're not, it's not all at one time that you're replacing the whole board. So start with the 1-year appointments. I'd entertain a motion that, I think Pogue will be fine with this, and Don Hensley has requested just a 1-year term. So I'd entertain a motion that we appoint Pogue Hennessy and Don Hensley to 1-year terms for the Business Development.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion, do we have any discussion?
And Poe, is that Jack?
Jack Henry, yeah.
Let's say his name, just to
Okay.
be on the,
I don't think anybody know him. But, yes, okay, Jack Hennessy Jr. and Don Hensley is 1-year appointments. Have a
I
motion.
can make that motion.
Okay, have a motion, do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. And then to appoint the 3-year term appointments. We'll start with, I believe, Donald Green. Correct.
Jones and Johnny Maney.
Did I clarify, Johnny, we've got 7 on this board?
There's 5 voting members.
Okay, I'm counting 7 applications.
There are 7. The 2 ex officio members do not have voting.
Okay, so, 7 to 5.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So Mr. Donald Green, Tim Jones, and Johnny Maney being the 3 people to serve a 3-year term on the Business Development Board. I entertain a motion to approve.
Before we make a motion, Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself from this unless, Mr. Ridenhour or the board, accepts my vote in this because one of the applicants is my brother.
Agree with that?
I don't think it wouldn't have any direct financial impact on anybody, and I think that, I think you would be free to vote, but if you would like to be excused, then the board could approve that on your request, if you want to put it up to a board vote. The board could vote on whether or not you be excused.
Yes, I'd like to be excused for that.
So I entertain a motion that we, allow Mark to recuse himself from this vote. Okay, all in favor, raise your hand, say aye. Aye. All opposed, by like sign, the motion carries. And now I entertain a motion that we appoint Don Green, Tim Jones, and Johnny Manning to 3-year terms on the business development.
I can make that motion.
Don't have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, by like sign, the motion carries. That fills the business development board, and from here, I would assume Bernadette would be getting in contact with these folks, letting them know they've been appointed. Try to work with people's schedule and plan the first meeting. And I'm assuming you'll report to us the content of the meetings and what's coming out of it. Okay,
I just noticed something on, Johnny Manny's application. When it asked if he lived within the municipal limits of Sylva, he said yes.
he does.
Okay, with the board, I thought
We can appoint outside.
okay, I missed that detail. So we can appoint people who live within the city
The
limits.
requirement is that they live in Jackson County.
Oh, I thought it was that they lived in Jackson County, but not in the city. I missed that.
This can be outside.
Okay, I got you.
The requirement is they have to be in Jackson County and they have to own business
Or commercial property.
property. on
Okay.
city limits.
They can live in the city limits.
Yeah.
They have to live in the county. Okay, got it now.
Okay, so I guess Bernadette's got that. Baby the rock now. Okay, so, the MSSA facade grant application approval, I assume you've got something to present to us?
The design committee and Main Street Board voted to approve the following facade grant requests, and we're asking that you would approve them as well. Crystal Paste for ILDA on 462 Main Street. It will include a decorative space between the crosswalks that includes planters. It would also repair drips and windows and painting on the Mill Street side at a cost of $2,170.80, which includes a $1,085.40 match from the facade grant program. The original proposal included a bench that would be placed between the planters on the sidewalk bulb out in front of ILDA, but the town would like for it to match our other public benches for greater longevity and town maintenance. So we asked the Jackson County TDA if they were okay with us doing that, and they agreed. So the total cost for that bench is $2,230. So you understand that particular thing. And then David Schulman for Yoga Mill, 620 Mill Street, to replace the metal awning with a metal framed canvas awning. His total cost is $5,336, which amounts to a $2,668 match. And finally, Jay Coward for Coward Hicks and Seiler, 705 West Main Street, to redo the connecting alley hardscape and landscaping. His total cost is $1,545, which amounts to a $772.50 match. Should you approve this, this will pretty much expire all the funds for this round of the facade grant.
In the past, we've approved these in lumps, the whole presentation, so I didn't find a motion that we approve all of these.
I'll make that motion.
Right, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed, by like sign, the motion carries. Special event request from the farm table dinner. You have something to tell us about?
Well, it's similar to what we did last year, where it'll be in Bridge Park. Santiago will be cooking per usual. We were supposed to do it this last weekend, and I had scheduling problems, so we moved it to December. And basically it'll just be beer and wine served there, with using the wine bar's alcohol license. So it's about 60 to 70 people. Ticketed event. We are gonna have it to where this time we haven't figured out completely where we're gonna have it. People can come earlier and do kind of like hors d'oeuvres and appetizers and things and have that, and then there'll be a sit down part of it too, but we haven't completely planned everything out yet.
This will be a bridge park.
Yes.
So what we're really approving is just the alcohol.
Right.
So, I didn't have a motion that we approve the alcohol permit for this.
I'll make that motion.
Okay. We have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye. All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. The last thing on the agenda, is the historical sign to go with, that references the center point of town. Luther brought this to our attention. He gave us some wordage to put on the plaque. Paige talked about putting it on a post next to the building there somewhere, with reference to where it's at, and all that. How do you want us to proceed with this?
So I think what I'm looking for is whether we go with a post or a sign. I know we talked about the Heritage Walk plaques, showing the old iterations of the depot. But is there anything else that the board would like included in this or any other ideas? And then if not, we'll just approval to move forward with it.
I sort of like the idea of what that you had to begin with on a post, somewhere close to the building there on a, bigger thing that you could sort of cop, like the angle of a drawing desk, like you'd see presented at the ranger station in Smokeless, see something looks sort of like that, if you think that's appropriate. And I know it's a separate subject, but have we ever discussed putting some benches and seats outside for people to wait to use the restroom?
Yes, we have talked about that.
I didn't remember that. So what do you need this motion to say exactly?
Just letting us know that you want us to move forward with the historical sign.
So.
I'll make a motion that we move forward for a historical sign for the new restrooms.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have any discussion? All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, and the motion carries. And unless I'm missing something, we need a Brad Walgrew adjournment.
I can make that motion.
Okay. All in favor, raise your hand, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed by like sign, and we stand adjourned.
Our committee.
Yeah.